Hi team, thanks for showing up for your learning once again. We've looked at factoring trinomials to get them from standard form into factored form when a is 1. So when there would not be a number written out there. It's just x minus r times x minus s. And those cases are much simpler than when a is bigger than 1. Let's take a look at this type of problem where we want to factor this type of trinomial, which is it's quadratic, and what it's going to look like. Now, with these types of things, we can always start with a visualization. I know that this parabola opens upwards, so it's quite stretched. It's quite narrow because it has a stretch factor of 3. It's crossing the y-axis with a slope of 5, so it's growing, and it crosses the y-axis at 2. So if I input that into Desmos, you'll see all of that. So this is what it looks like when it's in Desmos, just like I told you. It's crossing the y-axis at the c value, 2. It has a positive slope as it crosses the y-axis based on this b value. This always gives you the slope. If I graph the line 5x plus 2, you'll notice if I zoom in there, it just touches the parabola at that point, and it has exactly the same slope as the parabola as it's crossing there. So this number gives us the slope, and then 3 gives us the direction of opening. It's positive, so it opens upwards, and it's quite stretched. Now, when I look at that, both in my mind's eye and in reality, I can see that the roots are very close together. So I'm expecting to get two roots that are close together here. Let's take a look at what they look like when we factor it. So we want to take this problem, copy it down, and then we're going to have to do a couple X games here. A couple X games to solve these ones. The first type of X game that we're going to do is we're going to take the A and multiply it by C, and we're going to have the B down there. We're looking for a number that multiplies to A plus C and then adds to B. Okay? So in this case, our X game is going to have 3 times 2, 3 times 2 on top, which is 6. Numbers that multiply to 6 and add to 5. Okay? That's pretty simple. That's 5 and 1. Sorry, no, it's not. Multiply to 6 and add to 5. Ooh, Lee. It's 2 and 3, man. It's 2 and 3. 2 and 3. Okay? So, what we do with these numbers is we're going to break this b term apart into two different terms, okay? And it's going to look like this. Watch. 3x squared plus 2, that's not going to change. But we're going to get a new way of writing 5x. We're going to write that as plus 3x plus 2x. Okay? And now, notice that 5x just broke down into those two things there, okay? And I grouped them, recognizing that 3 and 3 share factors and 2 and 2 share factors. So now let's go to the next line. This is all going to be equal to, in this case, I'm going to factor this by common factoring. Okay? So I see that 3x is common to both of these. 3x will factor out of 3x squared, leaving me x, and 3x factors out of 3x, leaving me 1. If I completed this multiplication and brought Mario in to jump on these two Goombas, 3x times x would be 3x squared, 3x times 1 would be 3x, so it's equivalent. Okay, let's just erase those arrows. And now it's time to work on this part. I am going to still be adding here. I can factor out 2 here from these two things, and that will leave 2 times x is 2x, and 2 times 1 is 2. So now I have this factored as by common factoring in two places. This one common factored, and I took out 3x. That one common factored, and I took out 2. Now I have this funky expression, and I notice that x plus 1 is a common factor to both of them. So I can factor out x plus 1 from both. I will have 3x plus 2 left over, and x plus 1 factors out of both. This is my final factorization, and it's what gave me those two roots that are close together. Here, when x is negative 1, this one is 0. When x is negative 2/3, this one is 0. And so that's how you do that. Let's punch in our answer, see if Delta Math loves it. 3x plus 2 times x plus 1. Submit the answer. Hooray. Pat yourself on the back. Now let's take a look at a more challenging example. All right, so carrying on to this more challenging example, here we have copied that out over here, and then I've prepared my first x game. Multiplies to 42 and adds to negative 13. Those numbers are negative 6 and negative 7. Okay, so now I know I need to break down this minus 13x into a 3x squared, stays like that, minus 6x. I'm going to group those together because I see they both share a factor 3, minus 7x plus 14. I see 7 and 14 share a factor 7. So now I common factor both. So this is 3x times x minus 2. And then this is minus 7 will factor out of x minus 2. Cool, because if I divide 14 by negative 7, I get negative 2. Okay, now that is all factored, and I can say this is equal to 3x minus 7, and I've factored x minus 2 out of both terms. That's fully factored. 3x minus 7 times x minus 2. Give that to Delta Math. 3x minus 7 in brackets times x minus 2. See if it likes it. Hooray, pat yourself on the back. You know how to do this, and fantastic. Any questions, hit me up by email. Bye for now, everyone. Oh, you can also find me in person. Okay, we'll see you all soon.